Hello, my name is Ed.
Yep, and apparently I'm his assistant. So, Ed, how much do you like butter toast?
A lot. A heck of a lot.
Is it crispy? Is it crunchy?
Yes, it is.
Do you like to put it on
Delicious.
your pancakes?
Yes, I do. I smell waffles, guys.
Apparently he likes pancakes and waffles. So, how much do you like chickens?
Chickens! I
Yep.
love chickens, Eddie.
He loves chickens.
Yeah.
So-
Anyway, dude, did you want to? Do you think our audience remembers Ed and Eddie, or?
I'm pretty
Well,
sure. I'm pretty
the
sure.
new generation probably doesn't. Cause
Well,
they never
no,
watched
they
it.
haven't really been exposed to it as much as us millennials have. But
And just so you guys know, no, I'm not the voice actor for Ed. I just happen to do a pretty good imitation of him.
no, he does. Yeah. I
A
think back
decent
in
imitation. It's not
back
the
in high
greatest.
school, I think back in high school we had this improv troupe where we always do like impressions
Yeah.
from like Ed and Annie and Dexter's Laboratory.
Yeah, I could also do Dexter. I used to do a pretty good Dexter.
Oh, you did,
voice. I don't know if
actually.
I can still do it though. I've never tried it though.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I
Anyway.
think it's been a while since you did it.
Cartoon.
Yeah,
There you go.
that's probably as good. That's as good as it's gonna get.
Yeah, I can't do it any
That's
better
as
than
good
that.
as it's gonna
But I
get.
remember Cartoon Network. I was like dun 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 dun. It was a cartoon.
Yep.
I used to do- and
Oh
it
my
was
gosh,
cool.
memories. So many memories.
And then there's also Mandark. Remember who was it was not Kevin, it was Andrew. He used to do a really
Yep.
good Mandark. He's like ha 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 ha. Remember that dude? It was
Yep,
funny.
I remember that one.
Yeah.
I thought he sounded like that other dude, Nelson from The Simpsons.
Yeah. Ha ha yeah. Wow, dude, I didn't know you could do that. Cool.
Yeah, that's about as good as it's gonna get.
That was pretty good, dude. It's like, dope!
That's Homer.
Homer. That was awesome.
Oh man, we're gonna be doing like impressions all.
Oh, dude,
the whole season.
you already know I do a good Quagmire, remember?
Yeah,
Giggity, goo. Oh, right.
yeah. We could probably send that to Fox and see if they like it.
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
But, yeah. But, you know, dude, they already have a really good...
Yeah, they already got somebody.
Somebody, and that,
Yeah.
you know who that is, don't you, dude?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, so if you guys aren't familiar, or if you guys aren't aware, Seth MacFarlane does a lot of the voices to the characters on Family Guy. Not all of them, but he does a lot of them.
A good amount.
Yeah, and he's pretty funny.
But I'm pretty sure you guys already knew that.
Yeah. Anyway, dude, let's get into our topic.
Yeah.
Yes,
Hey,
I
guys.
will.
Yeah. Yes, we will.
Yeah, yes, we will. All right, dude. So, Dante, tell everybody what we have ready for. Well, what our topic is today.
Well,
for the
guys, we got
podcast.
Nerdz number 9.
Oh gosh, dude, it sounds like you're you're about ready to sing that song "Love Potion Number 9."
Love Potion
Oh
Number 9.
gosh. Anyway.
No, I'm not really that much of a good singer, but
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, for number 9, we're gonna be talking about.
It's over 9,000.
All right. That one never gets old.
I trained all day yesterday.
Oh, you think you're being cute?
It's like, bitch, I'm adorable. Vegeta.
Oh,
I can actually almost do that voice too.
I
where
know,
he's
right?
Like, I always like, he's just like, bitch, I'm adorable. He's got that grittiness to his voice.
I know, right?
Bitch, I'm adorable. Anyway, so what do we got today? We're
All
really
right,
goofy,
guys.
huh?
Yeah, I know, right? Well, we're just having fun with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, right now, guys, we're actually going to be talking about the different OVAs from a lot of our shows that you may not have seen.
So, dude, the thing about OVAs that always throws me, and the
Yeah.
thing that kind of makes me angry, is that not every OVA, right, follows the original story. So, for example, Seven Deadly Sins, right?
Yeah.
The OVAs on that don't follow the original story. It's not part of the actual story. So,
Right, I think if you think, well, for me, if you think of OVAs, the term OVA for people who are just hearing it right now, it's actually known as original video animation.
But see, dude, that's the thing though. It kind of that throws you because you're like, well, it might be the original animation and the original art style.
Yeah,
but
a lot of the
it's
OVAs,
not connected to the real story. You know what I mean?
yeah, I think a lot of the OVAs actually aren't exactly canonical. Am I saying it right? Canonical?
I guess. Yeah.
Canonical?
Yeah.
Fandom?
They're not exactly candle.
Candle, canonical?
They're not exactly
Yeah,
canon
yeah.
to
They're
the
not,
original story.
they're not exactly canon to the actual story.
Yeah.
If you think about it, they're kind of like bonus side stories that maybe the animators or developers didn't really get the chance to add into the original series.
Coffee.
So they're kind of like, you know, like side stories that you'd find.
True.
But yeah, most of them really don't tie to the actual plot of the overall story.
So, dude, and that burns me up because, like, when you're watching, like, so say you're watching a show, right? and you're watching it too. I don't know, maybe you're in the middle of like episode 4 or like episode 6 or something, right? And you get to a certain point and you're like, oh, okay, well, yeah, I'm almost done. And you're like, I wonder what the OVA is about. So you end up kind of not rushing, but you end up watching the rest of the show because you're excited to see what the OVA is about. And you're like, oh, then you watch the OVA and you're like, oh, well, the OVA has nothing to do with you. Or, like, that's how it was for me with Seven Deadly Sins. The first season. I watched all of the first season and watched the OVAs thinking, oh, I wonder what the OVAs are about. The OVAs were cool, but then I found out that they're not canon. And I'm like, dang it. I'm like, that ruined it for me because I was like, well, I just watched the whole show.
Yeah.
I wanted more of the story and I wanted more stuff to know. We did get more because they did a sequel, right?
Yeah, they did.
But with OVAs, like, you don't always get that. Some shows don't get another season or they don't get more.
True.
And not every OVA follows the original story. So the only show I can think of that does, where the OVA is incorporated in the actual series, is Don Machi. Because Don Machi, the OVA episode is actually one of the hidden episodes in the show. And it's also incorporated in the story because there's an episode before that where they go and defeat a creature down in that same area where the OVA takes place.
Yeah,
so,
I think right where the 12th episode might have ended.
Yeah, there's a hidden episode where they go down. They find a tunnel that goes down to a lower level, and that's where the OVA takes place. And they actually go down there there's a reason in the main story they go down there to find a way out, and that leads into the OVA episode. So in that show, the main plot, right, actually does lead into the main plot is part of the OVA, and the OVA is part of the main plot. But in a lot of stories, like with Seven Deadly Sins, what happens in there doesn't really have anything to do with the main story. It's a side story. Even the villains and everything else are different or just not the same, and their goal is not the same. And some shows, it's just a completely different villain in some cases. So yeah, dude, doesn't that burn you up, dude?
Well,
look at the old Broly films, right, dude?
Right.
The old Dragon Ball Z Broly films. Until they brought Broly until they actually made him canon, right? He was never a canon character. So, like, dude, didn't that burn you up about Dragon Ball?
Yeah, well, of course, being a Dragon Ball Z fan, every single fan already knows that a lot of those movies really aren't that canon because they kind of take place during different parts that really aren't, like, 100% related to whatever saga, that Goku and his friends are in. I mean, well, I know that they... I know that after the original, like you remember the original Garlic Jr. movie?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, the original one. Yeah.
And then they tried to bring him back in the original series.
Yeah, which didn't work out so well, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah,
right?
I think so. Yeah.
So, dude, is that a well? I mean, dude, that's not really an OVA, was it? Or was it? I can't remember.
It wasn't really Garlic really wasn't an OVA. I think. It was kind of like a...
Wasn't that filler? Because they said
it was filler.
Garlic Jr. Saga was mostly filler.
Yeah, Garlic Jr. Returns, that was original filler.
Yeah.
But the original one, like, when he first appears, that was an actual movie.
Was it really? Was that part of the original story, though? Or did they just add that into the original story?
No, that was just like an overall movie. I don't think it was an OVA. It was just like an overall movie.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So, and of course, I think there's also some other OVAs, like the Hunter x Hunter one.
Yeah.
Depending on what version you watch, I think it's either like the original version or the 2012, 2013. There were two different versions, I think.
I believe so.
One that kind of followed the manga and like 100%. And the other one that was kind of just based off of it. Yeah,
one that was like more anime like, where it followed the anime story. Yeah. Yeah, but dude, I don't think either of them. I don't think people liked either of them because I think a lot of people wanted the actual story. They wanted the main plot. They wanted to follow more of the main story. Like, that's with Bleach, dude. Bleach did the same thing. They had the anime where sometimes the anime didn't follow the exact same main plot as the manga did. Right. And it went off track, right?
Well, I think there was that one filler arc that they had to buy some time. During the whole Waco Mundo.
Yeah, true. So, I mean, like, dude, that's probably the case with a lot of stuff. But see, dude, I feel like with Bleach, though, and with Naruto, they do eventually, once they do get back to the main story, then it gets good again. But, dude, I feel like a lot of people were kind of disappointed with the OVA stuff for a lot of the shows because it's not part of the main story. Like, when you're watching, when you're so sucked into a show, and then you're like, oh, well, there's a movie out. and then you're finding like, oh, you're like, the movie's not even part of the main
Yeah,
story.
again,
You're like,
it's,
what?
It's gonna depend on what show you watch.
No, dude.
though.
So Cyborg 009, do you remember
Yeah.
that anime, Dante? That actually does have OVAs that do. It's like, I think it's like takes place like 10 or 15 years later on, in the story, you know. But it does follow some of the same plot. Now, granted, the villain I think changes in that story because Black Ghost is no longer around. In the future episodes, I think they end up defeating him, or they got rid of Black Ghost. But and they tell you, I think they explain that in the movie. But there's another villain who is doing something terrible to people and to the cyborgs, and so the cyborgs end up stopping him. But yeah, I mean, so that part of some of those movies are somewhat, now they're not fully canon, but they do at least follow some of the main story. Not all of it completely, I don't think.
Right.
But there are one or two that do follow some of the main plot twists in the main story. I think in one of the movies, one of the characters dies, though. If I remember correctly, at the end, one of the characters dies. It's either 002 or 003, I forget, but one of the two of them die.
Yeah.
So, dude, there aren't many shows. And dude, doesn't that... dude, is there anything else you can think of where like they actually do follow?
Well, I mean, if you really think about it, like the let's see, I mean, y'all. Well, of course, we already got 009.
Yeah,
009. Yeah, we already got.
What about Gundam, dude? Are any of the Gundam stories canon or no?
Well, actually,
I'm not sure if all of them are.
Well, I mean, there's a good amount of. In fact, actually, before we touch on Gundam, remember when not Ultimate, but remember when the original Hellsing started off as an OVA?
Yes, yeah, it was. But so, dude, that I think was canon though, the original one. That because that followed the manga story.
Right.
Ultimate is what is not. Some of Ultimate is they edited some of the original Hellsing and they just enhanced it. They made it better. They added elements to it. So that's not necessarily going off of manga. Well. Okay, it's not veering away from the manga. It still follows the manga to a certain extent, but they added elements that weren't there in the manga. So they added more to the characters. They juiced up the show a little bit.
They kind of spruced it up a little bit.
Yeah, they spruced it up a little bit, which really actually didn't hurt the show. That enhanced, that made people want to watch it more. And in my case, I like Ultimate better because I watched the original. And don't get me wrong, the original is great. The original Hellsing is a fantastic. I highly recommend watching the original Hellsing, highly, because it is really good, and there's a lot of details that you don't really get in Ultimate that are in the original Hellsing that they kind of skipped over, or they kind of condensed down. They're there, but they're maybe not. They don't go into as much detail in Ultimate. But Ultimate is nice because the characters are so their personalities really shine in Ultimate, and also just the gory and the craziness that is Ultimate is. It's like it's like kind of like Gurren Lagann. They took Gurren Lagann above and beyond when they did that show. They just had like an excellent show, and they just turned the knob and then just kind of ripped it off.
Just cranked it up.
They cranked up to 11, just tore the knob off.
Fire away!
It's the same thing with Hellsing Ultimate, where they just enhance it. You could also say the same thing about the original Funimation dub for Dragon Ball Z, because remember, the original Funimation dub was pretty good, already. But then when they added stuff to it and they added their own kind of touch on it, it got a lot of people liked it better. It was amazing.
Yeah, they did.
And it's funny because originally people hated it back in the 90s when it first came out because it wasn't canon to the manga. But when Kai came out and they chopped out a lot of the extras, people realized that, oh crap! Like,
of course, Kai
made it really awesome.
Well, if you think about it, we grew up with the original, with not just Funimation. Yeah, we did. We kind of started with the Saban dub, the Ocean dub first, and then we did the original Funimation dub. But Kai, on the other hand, Kai is actually more tied into everything that happens in the actual manga. But for us, since we already know what happened, we don't technically really have to, we already know what happened, so basically we don't really have to watch Kai in his full entirety. But I think Kai is basically the same as Alchemist Brotherhood.
I guess so.
But
Well,
not the very same, but
well,
just
you know what though, dude? I feel like Brotherhood is. You're right. It is kind of similar to Brotherhood because it does follow.
Brotherhood
the
is
manga.
more like towards the manga.
Yeah, Brotherhood follows manga. Well, so does Kai. Kai follows more of the manga story,
Right.
and it also shortens some of the longer extensions that Funimation put on Dragon Ball Z originally.
Yeah, I think the only thing with Kai is when they did the Buu saga, they kind of took out. They kind of took out the jokes when when Vegeta when Vegeta and Goku were inside Buu.
Yeah,
and I forgot what Vegeta said. He's like, "What is he on?"
Yeah. They chopped out a lot of that, but there's a lot of other lines.
I actually really do like the banter though. It was pretty funny.
Even the Super Saiyan 3 transformation, they chopped out some good lines during that scene when Goku and Boo were fighting. Boo makes a comment about his hair. But yeah, they chopped out a lot of good phrases in there that weren't in the manga. So, and that weren't there originally, but that Funimation added to make it. And I still, to this day, think the Funimation dub for Dragon Ball Z was like one of the best. I still like it, even though it takes forever to get
even
through.
though it takes about 7 or 8 episodes just for Goku to power up and beat an
I
enemy.
mean, just to go Super Saiyan 3, it takes what, like 4 episodes, I think, doesn't it? In the
yeah. So think about it. You're probably like 7 or 8 at that time just watching it, and then like 5 or 6 episodes now, like, hey, how the heck did I turn 19 already?
Well, I don't know if it takes years. How many years? It doesn't take years, but still.
Well, during that time, it kind of felt like years.
That's true because you only got like 1 or 2 episodes each week. So yeah, you're right. It did kind of feel like years.
In fact, if we really want to go old school, remember the days before DVDs.
Yeah.
Remember when they only
tapes?
put remember when they only put like 2 or 3 episodes on a V. I'm not even gonna call it a VHS. They put it on a brick. We had to buy a brick. 2 episodes, 1 brick.
Or one episode, one brick.
Back when the Dragon Ball, not Z, but the original Dragon Ball first premiered when it first got over here. Yeah, you only got like 2 episodes on a brick. And if you wanted to see the whole season of like the whole season,
you had to buy a whole ton of bricks.
You had to buy 12 bricks.
Yep.
Came about this long, cost about $150.
Yep, and that was a lot of money you spent for those bricks. Now, dude, I don't think I ever bought. I remember anime being on tape, but I don't remember ever buying.
In fact, the
only anime I bought was Digimon the movie.
Yeah,
it was on tape. I think I still have that tape actually too.
Now, dude, actually, I remember because I actually still, to this very day, I still have the VHS tape of the Pilaf saga from Dragon Ball still on a VHS.
Do you really?
I still have it.
Oh my god.
I still have it to this very day. And it still works.
So, oh wow. Dude, I remember.
And it still works.
That's crazy, dude. I remember recording Dragon Ball Z on my little tiny Magnavox tape recorder and TV. I was like, you remember those 2-in-1s on tape they had? Where they had the it was the VHS tape and the TV were all one big piece, you know?
Yeah.
And you could record your shows and you could also play tapes back. I remember recording episodes of Dragon Ball Z, like Super Saiyan 3 and a couple other things on there originally. I don't know if I ever saved. I think I did save the tapes, but eventually they got old and they fell apart. Or I recorded over the stuff. So, and I remember here recording Digimon on my dad's combination DVD and VHS player. So I do remember that, you know.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, shoot, man, those were like some really good times. Yeah, but now we got DVDs and everyone's able to stream stuff.
Oh, dude, now you got Blu-ray.
Oh,
so
yeah.
instead of using what is it? I think it's like red or white lasers that they use. Now they use blue lasers.
Blue lasers.
Yeah,
and everything's in 4K now.
Yeah, or it's in Blu-ray format, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So Blu-ray can be 4K or higher. I think it's like, what is it? It's like 18 something or 19 something by 1920 by 1080 or something like that. Is Blu-ray format?
I think it's like...
Is it 16 something? I can't remember.
But I think there's like... I think it's like a 1260 or 1440.
Yeah, 1260 by 1440. Yeah, there you go.
Well, actually, 1440 by 12.
Yeah, 14. No. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's
unless it's 2180 by.
It might be. I don't remember exactly, but yeah. So there's a format for it.
I mean, guys, if you know the exact dimensions, don't be afraid to post them down.
Or the exact.
We're trying to figure out the exact dimensions of 4K.
Well, the exact quality, how they qualify it. But yeah, I can't remember, but there's a format for it. I don't remember the exact format. Anyway, isn't that funny, dude? We're tech guys and we don't remember.
No, because I think it's been so long since we it hasn't really been that long, but I mean now that everything is like 4K, 6K, and 8, it's hard to get like the dimensions down though.
It is. No, but dude, dude, do you remember going back again to the tape thing? You know,
yeah.
Do you remember when? And let me know if you remember this, but do you remember when? Like when they first did, I think it was when DVDs, when they first did the regular DVDs.
Yep, and the first compact disc.
Yeah. They were horrible because you couldn't put much on them.
Right.
They hadn't like gotten them big enough where you could only put like 2 or 3 episodes.
Yeah,
you were lucky if you had 3 episodes on
the first phase.
So yeah.
And then God help you, you get like one of those discs where it won't even play, even though you just bought it. So.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. And then also, dude, when you would buy anime at one point, the discs, the DVDs were not formatted very well.
No, they weren't.
And it was just really bad. They just weren't. Now I think they're better, but if you ask me, now they could still use some work. They still need some better formatting tools.
Like, yeah, but I mean, we got Blu-ray now, so
if they find a way to make the episodes, to make the quality of the show high, but make the size smaller.
If they're able to put more episodes, yeah, I think they have
that'd be cool.
I think they have like dual layer DVDs where you're actually able to put more
on one disc.
Yeah, because every single DVD you can only put like 4.3 gigs on it, and then they got the dual ones where it's like 8.5 gigs.
Well, dude, with the Blu-rays, I think you can fit larger files and more on a disc because the way it burns it onto the disc.
Yep.
So, but yeah, dude. I mean, like, if there's a way they could somehow make whatever format they use to that they're putting the episodes in right, if they're able to make that smaller but still keep the same high-end quality because you do get really nice picture and audio quality from the actual disc, right?
Yeah, you do.
And that's the one thing, a good thing about having Blu-rays and having stuff on disc is that you get really good quality, right?
Yep.
But the downside is that, like, if you were to burn it yourself or you were to create a disc yourself, you could fit more on because you're using a smaller format for your discs. You're burning your episodes in a smaller format, so that you could fit more, right?
Yeah, you could.
But I don't find that the case with OVAs because a lot of times OVA is just one big movie, so it's just one long. They don't go by, except for Evangelion, which did do it in episode format. They did their OVAs in episode format, which did have the original Neo Genesis had
and I think the original Helsing did that at one point, didn't they?
I believe so. Yeah, they did.
They did.
Episode
yeah,
format.
They did.
Yeah, the original Helsing, I think like the first and second seasons of it, I think did episode format, and so did Ultimate did that too.
Right.
But anyway, dude, back to the OVA thing. We got way off topic there.
It's cool though, because I mean, we're talking about our past, our tech, different 8K formats.
So, dude, what was the other? What else did you want to mention about the OVA? What else did you want to say about it?
Well, let's see. I mean, there's actually, and I'm not sure if anyone has actually ever heard of this particular title, but it came on several months. Actually, not even several months, but like a couple years ago. Are you familiar with the channel NHK World by any chance?
I am, yes.
Yep,
I've heard of it. And I think I used to watch it a while back ago.
Yep, so this particular title, there were 2 parts. This particular OVA is called The Dragon Dentist. And yeah, I know, right? So yeah, this particular one, it's basically about a not just a girl, but what they do is they actually live on this village, and this village is actually on like a big, huge dragon.
Ooh.
And of course the dragon actually has teeth, almost like big giant. Let's just say that one tooth is about the size of 2 of us.
Oh my!
So
goodness.
if you were to put 2 of us back to back, that's how big the tooth is.
Dude, I would hate to be that dragon's dentist.
I know, right? yeah. The world's largest toothbrush won't be able to brush all those teeth. So basically, the girl and her family and a lot of the other relatives, they actually live on this dragon, and they have to make sure that the dragon's teeth stays clean.
Yeah.
Because if they don't, they have these yokai looking black gooey monsters.
Yeah.
That actually ends up like killing the people that's living on the dragon.
Yeah.
And if they multiply,
it's like it's a dragon.
I know, right?
The symbol. It's right there.
It's right
there. Anyway, sorry. You said dragon. And you reminded me of the dragons in a wrap.
The dragons in a wrap.
Meliodas. Anyway.
Hi there.
Yeah. Hi there. Anyway.
Oh man. But yeah, basically all they would really have to do is just make sure that the plaque monsters, I forgot their name because it was so long ago, but they have to make sure that they you know, keep the dragon's teeth clean, make sure they kill them. Unfortunately, the girl does lose a couple of people that she knows.
Uh-oh.
And not only that, they also have to make sure that the dragon stays in the air, because if the plaque monsters get into the dragon's lungs for whatever reason, that dragon will end up falling out of the sky, not just killing the dragon, but also the people in the village as well.
And then you get a suicide mission.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, it's like, we're going down.
So yeah.
Killed him. He's like, whoop, 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 whoop. Everybody dies. Anyway, sorry, dude. Sorry, no.
We're out of fuel.
Yeah, it's like, uh-oh. It's like, it's like, uh-oh. It's like, dragon's losing steam. That's terrible.
Oh man, that would be terrible.
Remember the. Sorry to get off topic, but remember that Adult Swim episode?
Oh yeah,
with Darth Vader, where he's dancing. He's like, uh-oh. Yeah, I know, it was funny. But yeah.
Oh man, that was a funny one.
No, but yeah, dude. I mean, that's kind of how I imagine this scene, right? All of a sudden, the dragon, like, all of a sudden the plaque monsters get the dragon. All of a sudden, it's like, oh, going down. It's horrible.
Oh man. But yeah, it's an OVA. It's about 2 parts. It's pretty good. I'm not. Unfortunately,
dude, I'm not. When did that come out, dude?
It came out on NHK World Japan several years ago.
Did they ever go on DVD or no? Did it ever get on Blu-ray or DVD?
And surprisingly, they actually showed the dub version of it.
Did they really?
So you might hear some voice actors that you might recognize.
Cool. Dude, were you able to find much on that? We're looking. So guys, if you don't, we're looking at the write-up on our website right now, up on the screen up here.
So, but the Dragon Ninja is actually pretty cool. It's a 2-part OVA. So if you guys get a chance, I think it might actually be on YouTube. I'm not sure if you're able to buy it, but you might be able to stream it on YouTube. I tried to find it on Crunchyroll and Funimation. I couldn't. I don't know where they might keep it, but they might keep it on NHK. But you might have to check it out if you get the chance. But yeah, definitely, it's pretty good. It's got a lot of action. And of course, make sure you brush your teeth and keep your hygiene.
Dude, is that an original OVA, the original story, or does that follow, like, so remember I was saying how some OVAs aren't canon? Do you know if there's a series with that, or no? Was that just a standalone OVA by itself?
That one is a standalone because I couldn't find any other series or manga to go with it.
Okay, so then, dude, that one probably doesn't count.
So I think that one is like
that one doesn't count because
that one I would consider that original anime.
Yeah, standalone,
because it's not based off of anything.
Yeah, standalone stuff doesn't really count because standalone stuff doesn't. It has its own original story, and it's not based off of a series. Like I was saying with the Dragon Ball, right? There are Dragon Ball OVAs, but they don't follow the main story.
Right, they're basically just standalone episodes.
So, dude, what about the next thing you had up there?
Well, dude, I mean, we have the Major World Series. Well, it's not Big Wind Up, but it's something different.
Yeah, I think it's a baseball anime still, isn't it?
Yeah, but speaking of Big Wind Up, does Big Wind Up? Does Big Wind Up have an OVA?
I believe it does. I believe it has. Yeah, I believe it does have an OVA. Yeah, I'm not sure if the OVA follows the main story or not. I don't know that. I'm not sure. I'd have to go back and watch it again to find out. I know the main story is pretty good though with Big Wind Up.
Yeah,
I know it's still a baseball story, but I don't know if the OVA follows the same character or the same storyline that the main one did. It's hard. I know that. So, you know what's funny, though, Sunday, is that Testament of Sisters, New Devil, does have an OVA. And that one kind of continues from the main story, but also kind of veers off of the main story as well. Because it's kind of it's like a continuation of where the last episode left off, but also veers away from the story in parts of it. So that's hard to say whether or not that's canon or not. Some parts of it might be, some parts of it may not be. But that has another season to it too. That is season 2 and I think it's season 3 now. So yeah. That show actually don't guys. Okay, so let's put
He's
it this
not
way.
the biggest fan of that show.
Let's well, it's okay. It's I don't hate it. Okay,
Right.
there's reasons for me liking it, which I'll get into in another podcast episode. But
Yep.
what I was gonna say, if you're somebody, okay, who likes, how can I put this? Who likes ecchi anime, okay,
Etchy anime.
please,
Well,
don't-
we're trying to look for the best recommendations.
yeah, don't watch it just for the ecchi parts of it. There are a lot more to some of the stories than just the ecchi parts of the show, which you guys will find out. But that's a whole nother topic for
Yeah,
a
that's
whole nother video.
Whole nother thing.
But yeah, anyway, I just wanted to mention that. Don't watch it for just the ecchi parts. Get
Yeah.
into the story for more than that. And
that's true.
dude, so what's the deal with this baseball?
Yeah, so this
Yeah,
particular one, I think the main character, Goro, I believe, wanted to become like a professional baseball player
Now,
after
dude, is
seeing
that-
his father.
Is that a side story or is that its
Um,
own standalone story?
This one basically is an OVA. It's how he grew up from practicing his swings and stepping to the mount. So basically,
But is that based off a series though, Dante, or is that just a standalone story?
it is based off a series, but I think this particular OVA is just like an origin story. So,
Does that follow the same
well,
series or no, or does it veer off track of the main show? Because if it veers off track, then yeah, it kind of counts as it kind of is what I was mentioning about
Right.
movies not being the same as the.
well, this one,
as
this
the
one,
main story.
this one is basically, if you think about it, the way it's being described, it is following the main story, but it's kind of like the episode before episode 1, kind of like an episode 0.
So you're talking about kind of like what DxD did with episode 0, where they had to explain.
Yeah, they had to-
the only thing that DxD did wrong was DxD went back and rewrote the ending to an episode, which I did not like.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that.
I liked the original way, so I always skip that episode of the rewrite because I'm like, screw the rewrite. So it kind of screws it up because you're like, oh well, then you're like, wait a minute, there's an element in there that wasn't in there before. So I usually skipped all that stuff that they rewrote. I'm like, skip the Grabbin' Dragon song because it's just kind of stupid, right? It's like skip that.
I'm
whole
not sure if
thing.
you can find that on Spotify, but
You probably can find it on YouTube.
yeah,
But
yeah.
no, but I
can
mean,
find
like,
it on YouTube.
I just kind of skipped that because I'm like, this is stupid, and it wasn't needed before. So it's like, why would you just randomly add it in there when like he had a legitimate reason for wanting to do what he does.
Yeah.
So it's like, and he's a pervert. Why would he not do what he does?
Well, that's pretty
Anyhow,
much.
but yeah, so dude, I mean,
but yeah.
like, dude, as long as I don't know, dude. That depends on how much of that show, how much of this baseball thing is actually canon, Dante.
Right.
How much of it is actually canon to the original series?
Yeah, I'll probably say that it's definitely canonical, but again, it's kind of like that episode 0 before the episode 1. There are a handful of titles that do have like the episode 0, like the exclamation episodes.
Yeah.
Now, you don't 100% have to watch them, but if you want to like know like what's going on, if you're just watching the series for the first time and you kind of want to know what's going on, then you can take a shot at them just to see what's going on.
So, dude, what would you say? Would you recommend watching OVAs, Dante, or would you not recommend watching just because of like? Okay, so here's what I would
yeah.
say, dude. If it's a standalone, okay, Dante, and I'll get your opinion in a second.
Yeah.
If it's a standalone anime, like if it's an OVA and it's a standalone by itself and it doesn't follow a main series or follow a main story, then yes, watch a standalone OVA. But if it's like something if you're watching Dragon Ball and then there's OVAs to it, you may not want to because or like Seven Deadly Sins, you may not want to because the OVA might not follow the original story and it might kind of get you a little down. Now, if you don't mind watching a separate story, right, a side story, OVA after you watch the main series, then cool, you might be cool with it, you might be able to watch it. But if you want something that's kind of going to follow the main story, then I wouldn't recommend watching OVAs. What about you, dude? What would you say?
I would probably say this about OVAs. Like, if you finish the actual main series of a story, and for whatever reason has like an extra or a bonus episode or OVA to it, you can check it out. I mean, it may not be canonical to the overall event of the story, but like again, I mean, every now and then I may watch an OVA, and even though it's not necessarily canonical, nor does it tie into any of the events that kind of happen, I would actually think of OVAs as kind of like an episode after the overall show, kind of like either an after story or like some sort of
Or a
funny
side
joke,
story?
or it could be like a prelude to, you know, like how the whole series began.
You mean kind of like an explanation, kind of? Or
Yeah,
a side
yes,
story?
yes. So, yeah, OVAs are kind of like they're kind of like a mixed bag. So some of them may be connected to the story. Others are kind of like a series of explanation, and then another one could be from a character's perspective or point of view.
True.
That didn't really have as much screen time in the main series.
True. But I feel like it's kind of.
So it all depends on how you look at it.
It's kind of disappointing. I feel like for anyone watching, because if it's not part of the story,
You're gonna have a mixed bag of feelings depending on how you watch it.
Because you're sitting there like, why did I watch this when it's not canon?
Yeah, you're either gonna like it or you don't. So
yeah,
I mean,
I don't mind like the Seven Deadly Sins ones. I didn't mind watching the OVAs. They weren't bad. It just that I think I was kind of hoping that it would be more of the main story.
Yeah.
Just because the main story was so good that I was hoping that the OVAs were going to be included. But who knows? They could do an OVA to the conclusion. It could be, they could be good, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess this pretty much wraps up everything for the day.
Well, dude, was there any last minute comments or anything you want to say?
I would probably say, so guys, if you're just turning in and you're curious about OVAs, we just want you to know that OVA stands for Original Video Animation.
Yes.
And if you have a show that you really like and it happens to have an OVA, you can check it out. It may not be canonical.
Yeah.
And it may tie in, it may not tie in, but you know, either way, it's basically just like some bonus material just to hold you out until you get a second season, because they take a while to come in.
And then again, you know, whether you want to watch it or not, that's completely up to you.
That is totally up to you.
How you feel on OVAs being canon to the main show is completely up to you.
You got the power.
Yeah.
You have the power.
You got the power. Not really. I have the power. See, I got the Infinity Ring. I can snap you guys out of existence.
He has the power.
I have the power. There's no escape.
Yeah. Well, anyway, guys, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for number 9. Yep. So, yeah. Until next time.
Stay nerdy.
Stay nerdy.
Peace.
You have the power.
I have the power.
He has the power.
All right, see you guys.
See you guys.
Peace. Stay nerdy.
Yeah.